What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin. And if you don't already see in the background, this video is about Kobe Bryant. And if you don't know, Kobe got hurt Wednesday against the New Orleans Pelicans in a loss. The injury, initially the injury didn't look severe. Then as Kobe came back into the game, you could see he was favoring that right shoulder, and he literally couldn't dribble with that right shoulder. With that right arm, and he was shooting the ball with his left arm. So at that point, you knew it was a very bad injury, and the play occurred on a baseline drive where it wasn't any contact. You didn't see anything that how the injury would occur. Nothing weird, no freak accident, nothing like that. It was a routine drive to the basket, baseline dunk. Wasn't really anyone there to contest it. And he came down favoring that right shoulder. Friday, they did an MRI. Came out to be a torn rotator cuff. That and pretty much sidelines him for the rest of the season. Now, Kobe's had this injury before. Back in the 2003-2004 season, he was actually able to play through it, albeit through a lot of pain. But he was 25 years old, so it's understandable that he would probably be able to fight through that pain a little bit more and recover from it. He'll have a smoother recovery. Being that he's 36, he's 36 now. He's logged way more minutes than at that point in his career. He's logged way more minutes. He's fifth in minutes logged, right behind Wilt Chamberlain, I believe. So he's attempted a lot of shots. He's logged a lot of minutes. And if you look at the last 2 or 3 years, he's been through 3 injuries. 3 injuries that pretty much sidelined him for the entire season. 3 major injuries. So it's been very unfortunate for Kobe the last 3 years. And he even made a joke about it. And as serious as the injury was, and how his career could possibly be over, he made a joke. He said, that's what I get for passing too much. He actually said this on Twitter. And, that's cool and all, but to be serious, this does kind of put his career in jeopardy, being at his age. Now, I, for one, don't think, and this is actually the question I wanted to pose. Do you think this injury ends Kobe's career? I see it as very unlikely. The guy does not want to go out like that. He's a very competitive guy. I know he's older, and Father Time has put a beating on him, especially these last 2-3 years. Father Time is putting a beating on him, and the injuries are starting to pile up. I just don't think he goes out like that. Way too competitive. I expect to see him out there next season. Because at this point, even if he could return for this year, for what? This Lakers team is not very talented. They're not gonna make the playoffs in that stacked Western Conference. So honestly, don't see him making the injury worse by coming back too early or something like that. So at that point, that's why they pretty much ruled this season out. We're just about at the halfway point of the season, so pretty much he just decided to sit out the rest of the season. Pretty sure the doctors told him at his age, that's the best course of action is just wait for next season. We'll see what he decides in the offseason. Like I said, I doubt he retires. Now, looking at Kobe's numbers this year, they weren't that great. He was at 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. He was shooting a woeful 37%. He had his games where he showed flashes of some of the production that he usually could put up, but you could just tell how the injuries slowed him down. Even more so being at 36, he's past his prime. You can see how the injuries still slowed him down. So it's expected for him to have a drop off, but there are a lot of people say he makes a lot of money, but I think he out of all the guys, I think is he still paid like a superstar? Of course. Is he still that guy he used to be? No. But the guy puts asses in the seats, and I think he well earned that money. L.A., city, got a lot of celebrities there, and a lot of them come to see Kobe. A lot of fans watch the games to see Kobe. A lot of fans come to the games, buy all the merchandise, buy the Kobe jersey, buy all the jerseys, mainly Kobe's, because of him. and he makes that Lakers organization a lot of money. So that's why they feel as though they should give him that money. Albeit, I don't think he should have got that money in in terms of he wants to make the team better. I don't think he should have took that much. But the guy understands he's at the end of his career. No other team is going to give him that kind of money. Let's be honest. So his season wasn't going too well. I think his efficiency was really bad this year. And also, I guess they were doing kind of a Greg Popovich thing where he was sitting out games. He'll play, if it was back-to-back, he'll play the first game and he won't play the other game, to kind of rest him. And for the most part, it was working because when he did play, he logged the most minutes out of all the other Laker players, and he's the oldest player on the team. So that was a big red flag, and Byron Scott actually mentioned that Kobe was logging so many minutes early on in the season. Could that have contributed to his injury? Who knows? Could have been, but to me, how the injury happened, it just, I don't know. It could have been wear and tear. That's what it seemed like, because it wasn't a freak accident or nothing like that. It's just a routine play, and he got injured on. Another thing I want to say, I just thought about it, is in the past, I've been one of those people who, when you talk about Kobe, it seems as though I only talk about the negative things about Kobe, and that's not any knock on him, Kobe himself. It's just how the media portrays him, and how ESPN and even NBA TV, some of the things they can say. Won't go into exactly some of the things they do say, but how they can be. And then, the fans soak up the things they say, and they spread it all across the internet, and that pisses off a lot of fans, especially non-Laker fans, or people who's on the fence about Kobe, or whoever it may be. That over-the-top fanboyism really gets to a lot of people. Now, lately, it doesn't really get to me, so it doesn't matter. I see Kobe as an all-time great. Not as high as a lot of people have him, but I do see him as an all-time great. So if he decided to retire, he's going down as the first ballot Hall of Famer easily. Just go ahead and walk him into the Hall of Fame right now. But as I said earlier, don't think he's done. He'll be back next season. He's not going out like that. The type of attitude Kobe has, he's going out gunning. That's the way he came in playing. I think that's the way he goes out playing. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Do you think this is the end of Kobe's career? What do you think about Kobe's injury and Kobe going into the future? Of course, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. Thanks for watching.